Cimoooooooo! What's going on, guys? It's Cimo. Now, today I have a very special deck profile for you guys. I have the top 4 Infernoid deck lists coming at you guys from Pro Play Tour Columbus this past weekend. Now, I wasn't able to get it in person, but I actually have Clifton Land on Skype. We're actually going to talk about it and do the deck profile this way, so that way you guys can get some insight into what he was thinking for this event. So, Clifton, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
Good. I'm doing wonderful. So, why did you decide to play Infernoid for Pro Play Tour Columbus?
So, number one, I like the deck.
Okay, that's a good reason.
I also think it was a pretty good meta call. So, the ban list was released on Wednesday, I believe, and then the PPG was on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And then they announced that the deck or the event was going to be under the new list. So, didn't have very much time to test or figure out the format or anything. Mm-hmm. So, I just kind of went down the list and was like trying to figure out what decks would still be good. So obviously something like Pure Orcus was still going to be fine, as all they did was lose Mermaid. So the Pure deck was going to be cool. Just all the hybrids or stuff that splashed the engines weren't going to be as good. And then a deck like Salad was still going to be good. And Infernoid has fantastic matchups against both of those decks, since my whole deck is basically a DD Crow.
Yeah.
And then the worst matchup would be Thunder Dragon, which is another popular deck, but getting 2 out of the 3 matchups that's good enough. So I just kind of went with it.
Okay, sure. So let's go ahead and just run down the list, and then we can go ahead and talk a little bit more in depth with it. So why don't you go ahead?
Good. All right, so first card, I have 2 Infernoid Antra. Mm-hmm. I guess this is one of the more unusual Infernoids. It wasn't as popular during when the deck peaked, which was probably when grass was legal.
Right, yeah.
So this guy bounces a card. Most people would max out on Infernoid Harmodic, which destroys the monster, but with cards like Colossus, Titan, and Dingirsu, which all have the replacement effect where they can save themselves. And then you have the Salamangreat cards, which Balinks can protect. So Harmodic isn't as good against those guys. So I chose to bump up Infernoid Antra so you can bounce those cards and not have to worry about them.
Sure.
And I played 2 because you want to see it, of course, and then you also usually want to have 1 in deck. That way you can send it off Decatron if you have to, so you can bounce the card. Next card, Infernoid Otondel. A lot of people don't play this card, but he attacks twice, which is really good if you need to do some damage. It's also pretty crucial in the Equimax play, where you can tribute off the Equimax, and then Otondel can attack twice to get some damage in there. Mm-hmm. And at worst, I guess, he's a level 8, so you can just summon him straight off Void Feast if you have to. 3 of the best card in front of Decatron. He doesn't really need an explanation. 2 Infernoid Deviati. It's the Heavy Storm. You need 2 because you always need 1 in deck, so you can send it off the Decatrons whenever you Void Feast them out, and also you need it in deck so you can send it off Void Imagination, which is the fusion spell.
And it's a monster negate on the field, correct?
Oh, yeah. And it's huge, which helps a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
The 1 Harmodic, like I said, just 1, just in case you need to pop a monster or something that Antra can't deal with. And he's kind of big, 16. He also has a cool play with Void Feast. You can summon him, Petrolia, and a Decatron, mm-hmm. which adds up to level 8. So I did that a couple times just in case I drew the Infernoid to Jet, which right. I did a lot all weekend.
Of course.
2 Anunku. He's the Dark Hole, negate spells and traps. Same thing as Deviati. Some people play 1, but you really need it in deck, so you can send it off Decatron whenever you do the Void Feast play, and then same thing with Imagination. 2 Petrolia, level 4. He's huge. He also pops spells and traps, so you can bait out stuff like the Orcus Crescendo or stuff like Salamangreat, Rage, or Roar, and then you can play your power cards such as Banishment, Imagination, Monster Gate, anything like that. 2 Infernoid Sidesmiths. This is my favorite Infernoid.
Yeah, me too.
Non-targeting removal, and all he has to do is battle. That's insane.
Yeah.
You can deal with so many cards, mm-hmm. Just the Salamangreat links. You can attack over a little monster and then banish a big monster.
Came up in your feature match too.
Yes. And it helps against Thunder, which is the worst matchup, because most of the time when they go first, they summon their Colossus and Titan stuff, and most of the time they summon them in defense. So then you can just summon the Sidesmiths, ram into it, take some damage, but that's whatever, because then you just non-targeting removal, banish their card. Andy's a level 7, which is perfect, so you can summon him and Decatron off of Void Feast if you ever need to get access to him.
Sure.
Infernoid's a jet. He's the worst one. Poor guy. You just need him for the Void Feast so you can maximize him with the 2 Decatrons.
You actually did use his effect in the feature match, too, funny enough.
Yes, I banished a Violent Chimera out of Altergeist deck.
Yeah.
3 Gamma in the driver. I always go second, so I figured this would be the most impactful hand trap as it negates the card and destroys it. This came up during my round 8 feature match, I think. I gammed my friend Justin's Dark Grever and basically just ended his turn. It's a very impactful hand trap. It's also really good because, well, for one, I play Omega in my extra deck, so you can make it, which is good because he removes himself from the field, so it helps with the Infernoid restriction with not being able to summon anything if you have more than 8 levels on the field. And then he can also return banish Infernoids. But also all of your power spells you activate while you don't have a field, such as Extravagance, Void Banishment, Monster Gate Tribute to the monster for cost, and Void Imagination. So if they ever try to do something like Ogre, Ash, or any kind of monster effect, then you can just gamma it. That way you can summon the monsters, get them out of your deck, and then you resolve your cards. So it helps protect them. It's kind of like a built-in protection. So it's good even if you go first or if your opponent does their thing and then it goes to your turn. 3 Layer of Darkness. This is what helps during, like, I guess with the weird matchups, kind of like Draco and then the worst matchup Thunder, because you contribute their monsters for cost, which all of the Infernoids do. This card is absolutely insane. It backfired a couple of times because it makes all my guys dark. So I got super polyed a couple of times, which I was not expecting because all of your guys are fire. So I was like, what are you going to make? And then I was like, oh yeah, my guys are dark. 3 Monster Gate. Just auto win if it resolved.
Crazy. Yeah.
It wasn't very loyal. I hit Christia that one time, which was pretty high.
That was really nuts.
But outside of that, I was not hitting anything. Like I would only mill like 5 or 6 cards. Most of them would be something like spells, and then I'd hit my Decatron. But yeah, I didn't have any crazy Monster Gates this past weekend. 1 for 1 summons Decatron from the deck. It doesn't count towards your normal summon, so little extender there. 3 Extravagance. It says draw 2 cards, and you don't really need your extra deck. Pretty much the only thing you need in your extra deck is 1 Tiara to be able to resolve your fusion spell. 1 Reasoning. I did have a couple crazy reasonings this weekend. Even though they call 1 most of the time, it's fine because you just want to mill most of your deck.
Right.
I think it was round 7. I put against my friend DeBlessin. I just started my turn, activated Reasoning, and that was pretty much the only play I had. I had to have milled probably about 30 cards.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just straight up won the game. Sometimes, I mean, that's why you play decks like this, though. You just have the crazy auto wins sometimes. 1 Terraforming for the Layer of Darkness. I'll side it out a lot, but it's just it's there when you need it in the main deck for the bad matchups, like if you really need to see the cards, and then I take it out sometimes.
Sure.
3 Imagination. This is probably the most powerful card in the deck, especially one of the main reasons why I chose to go second all the time. The decks like Sky Striker, Salomon Great, Thunder, they just go first, and they always end on a link or some sort of monster summon from the extra deck. So then you just slam Imagination, and if this card resolves, you win the game. I don't think I ever lost if I resolve this card. 3 Void Banishment. It searches your power cards, such as Void Imagination and Void Feast. It also has a little unknown effect most people don't know about. It's the effect whenever they battle your Infernoid, you can send it to the graveyard, banish the monsters. So it helps clear the field. It came up during my top 16 future match.
It did.
He attacked into it with his Hexia, and then I sent it to the graveyard, banished his Hexia, banished my guy, and then I was able to top deck evenly matched, luckily, and come back into the game because the Void Banishment had banished his Hexia, so he no longer had on the field to negate the evenly matched with.
Pro player.
But just play to your outs. Had to do it.
Yeah.
3 evenly matched, blind second. I resolved this card so many times. It got Solemn Judgmented a couple of times, but that's fine. Pay half your life points. This card's just absolutely incredible. And then 1 Void Feast. This card's also very strong, but I was going second most of the day, so you don't really want to open it. You don't want to see it all of the time. You mainly just want to search it whenever you need to. Most of the time when you're going second, you're searching Void Imagination. So I didn't want to be bricking on any old Void Feast. So I just played the 1 in order to search it.
Yeah. Traditionally, if you're going first, you'd want to maximize on this. But
oh, yeah, max out on that. Yeah, you can play stuff like Lilith if you want to.
Yeah,
if you're going first, just reveal 3 to search it. But yeah, going second, just didn't want to brick on it.
Yeah, card's crazy.
Yeah. Did you want to go side or extra?
Yeah,
first?
whichever.
I'll do extra. So 3 into Tis, send to the graveyard, pop a card. You pretty much just send it off the next card, which is Infernoid Tiara. Send 3 cards from your extra deck. So sometimes you can just summon the Tiara, send 3 into Tis. They send 3 cards from your extra deck, and then you get to pop 3 free cards on their side of the field. Unfortunately, during the weekend, I did pop Awakening the Dragon, but
it's okay because we just Lair of Darkness it away, you know.
Yeah. He wasn't playing anything crazy like the Falcon or the Warrior from a different planet or anything like that. So, yeah, it worked out.
That was one of the craziest turns in Yu-Gi-Oh! I've ever seen.
Yes. I got very lucky he wasn't playing any of the crazy cards, and he just summoned a Boral Sword. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm fine. Another thing you need to do with the Tis sometimes is while you play 3, you obviously don't want to banish them all off of Extravagance.
Correct.
But sometimes you have to send it to the graveyard and pop your own Tiara because Tiara is a huge level. So if all you did was start your turn with a Void Imagination and summon the Tiara, he hits the level cap, so you can't summon any other Infernoids.
Right.
So sometimes you aren't able to continue with your plays. So sometimes you need to be able to send in a Tis in order to pop your own Tiara, so you can get him off the field and continue with your turn. And it's also fine because he's just another name. So if you pop him and goes to the graveyard, it's fine.
Yeah.
The Omega, like I said, he's good with Gamma. Also, you can send him sometimes to the graveyard with Tiara, which I did a couple of times. And then you can send Omega to the graveyard, and then he can shuffle himself back, and then another card in either player's graveyard.
Yeah.
So a couple times throughout the weekend, I shuffled back Thunder cards, so they couldn't save their Colossus. Shuffled back stuff like I shuffled back a Sky Striker Ace Ray, and then I proceeded to kill him because the Ray wasn't able to come back after I killed his Link.
It's smart.
So sometimes there's little cute plays if you can do with that.
Yeah.
The rest of my extra deck is kind of like doubled up on because I played Extravagance. I didn't want to banish any of the key cards. So 2 Equimax. This is for the OZK. You make the Hita with your guys because they're all fire. Take an opponent's monster, link an Equimax. And then you can, the Infernos are huge, and then you're able to tribute the Equimax off so your other guys can attack. So, yeah, most of the time, if you can make the Equimax play, you can just kill them.
Right.
1 Doolittle Chimera, it just takes 2 fire monsters. He boosts all of your Infernoids, and then when he dies, you can add back stuff like Decatron. Just a little card. Helps with push-out damage. 2 Hita, I played 2 just because of Extravagance. He's also helps Link climb into other guys, mainly the Equimax play. 1 Nightmare Phoenix, just to clear back row and get the levels off the field because all the Infernoids are pretty huge.
Right.
And you can just get the levels off the field so you can summon other ones. 1 Link Karibo for the Decatron. If you ever summon it and then it gets like Veilered or Impermanence or something, you can just send it to the graveyard, summon Link Karibo. It gets the level off the field, and it also puts the Infernoid in the graveyard so they can summon other monsters if you need to.
Sure.
And then the last card in the extra deck is Cyframe Lambda. It's generic, so you can just make it with anything. Especially, it's really good if you have a layer on the field because you can't make cards like Doolittle or Hita because they take fire monsters.
Right.
So the 1 generic link is Lambda. It's also really good if you have the Gamma in hand, of course, because even if you have monsters on the field, you can still activate Gamma in your hand. And it's also cool because whenever one of the Cyframes are banished during the end phase, you get to add another Gamma.
Yeah.
And most of the times, if you have Lambda and then you activate your Gamma, you summon the Gamma and the Driver. Well, most of the time, they're both going to be banished during the end phase. Right. But if you have an Infernoid on the field, you can just activate the Infernoid's effects. You can tribute away the Driver, banish a card out of the graveyard, and then which keeps the Driver in the graveyard. So then during the end phase, only the Gamma will be banished.
Oh, that's
so then
cool.
You can search a Gamma.
I like that. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, so you're able to like save it just by tributing off the Driver. So then you can just keep banishing only the Gamma, then searching the Gamma, which is really good.
Yeah, that's a cool interaction.
And then for the side deck, I played 1 Christia
MVP.
and then the Spell Canceller. Yeah, the MVPs. I definitely hit both of them a couple times off Reasoning and Monster Gate. because people are always calling one-off reasoning, which is fine.
Yeah.
So if you hit the Christia, it's just sometimes it's an auto win. It's definitely an auto win against Thunder. They don't have an out to it.
Were you wishing you had the Jinzo for your top 16 feature match?
Yes, definitely, definitely. I played against like 3 Ultra guys since Swiss
Did you really?
too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah. So Jinzo, yeah, I didn't really expect to play against all the trap decks, but yeah, Jinzo would have been really nice.
That's cool.
But yeah, Christia was cool. You can tribute it for it. Same as Spell Canceller if you really have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted some more auto win cards that
Sure.
if I hit it, you win. 3 Pinker Chops. This was definitely the best card in my side deck. Like I said, most people just call one off reasoning because they really don't want you to hit the Decatron, but which is fine because then you just mill some cards, mill some Infernoids, and then you hit the Pinker Chops. He's level 7, so his level is fine. You can still summon other Infernoids with him, and then you can tribute him to pop problem cards, such as like there can be only one, which sometimes hurt because all of your guys are fiends. Yeah, and he's big, so he just gets in there, kills cards you need him to. 1 Starving Venom. It's for the 3 Super Poly. It helps with Thunder because their Colossus and other cards are dark, same as Orcus. Most of the guys are, or all their guys are dark, so you can just Super Poly them away.
And you have Lair, and you can make everything dark anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Layer Darkness. You just make everything dark. If you play against like a weird match or something, just make them all dark, and then Super Poly them all away for Starving Venom. And he's level 8, so it doesn't hurt with the levels, so you can still summon other Infernoids. 3 Mind Control. I don't think I ever sided this in.
Really?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I definitely would swap it out for something else, I think. I was really afraid of Thunder, which is why I was in my side deck, so you can just Mind Control something like Colossus or Titan. But that was the theory anyways. But yeah, I don't think I ever sided it in. I'm not sure what I would change it for. And then 3 Twin Twister, just to get rid of back row. I'm always going second, so... And then you want your Infernoids and stuff in the graveyard, of course. So discarding off Twin Twister is usually fine. You kill their back row, and then most of the time you can kill them, or you just clear the back row, so then you can resolve your power cards like Void Imagination or something.
Perfect. Well, I think that just about sums it up right there. So thanks so much for your time. And do you have any quick shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, shout out to Team Collector Store for sponsoring me, sending me to all these events. Thank you so much. Shout out to Chester Henson, Fabian from Cali, Eli Green, Austin Lewis, just everyone back up in Kentucky, everybody that went to an event. Shout out to Pro Play Games. I'm very glad that they did the new list.
Yeah, how'd you like the experience overall?
Oh yeah, Pro Play Games. Yeah, that was awesome. It was actually my first PPG event ever. So yeah, it was really fun. I really liked the app thing that they did with the pairings. Yeah, that was really unique. I like that a lot.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks so much again, Clifton. I'm sure all my fans will appreciate it, and maybe we'll see you at some future events as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me on your channel, man.